He is the most interesting man in the world. Okay, so a quick video on the books that intimidate me the most, brought to you by Brime. Definitely her idea. Or no, she got it from somebody else, and then I saw it at her channel, and then there. So links are in the doobly-doo to see those people. So after thinking about this for a while, I realized that it's not the length of the book that scares me, the characters in it, the setting, the description, the language, the way the author writes. It's not that scares me, it's the ideas in the book that scare me. The personal growth books that I've read over the past couple years are still fresh in my mind. Carol S. Dweck's The Growth Mindset, The Slight Edge, The Power of Now, The Power of Habit, and The Alchemist. And these are all books that have some sort of leadership philosophy taught in them. What scares me the most is the way that these books help me understand human beings and help me understand how we tend to morph reality and see things different than the way they are. Can understand somebody, not wholly, but in major aspects. I can understand somebody more than they understand themselves. Kind of scares me. For example, The Power of Habit talks about these things called night terrors. Night terrors are when you wake up and your basal ganglia inside of the center of your brain has all control over what you do subconsciously, and you are completely asleep. People have been known to drive boats, operate machinery, cook, make tea, say hello to people, sleepwalk, go to the bathroom, all while they're doing it subconsciously. Consciousness and unconsciousness is not black and white, it's blurred. You can be awake and not be awake, and you can be asleep and not be asleep. 40% of what we do every single day is a habit, because it's all cue, routine, reward. The Slight Edge talks about the upward curve and the downward curve. It's by Jeff Olson. It's small, insignificant decisions that you make right now determine your fate over long periods of time. If you are neglecting something, the price of neglect is far worse than the price of commitment. You are going downhill in some aspect of the Slight Edge. You can't predict what happens 5 years from now. You only can focus on what you're doing now, and hopefully that improves. It's the daily disciplines of the Slight Edge that determine the course and the direction that you take in your future, in your finances, in your relationships, in your health, in all aspects of your life. Daily decisions compounded over time, focus intensity over time, leads to unstoppable momentum no matter what decision that you are making, unless you can recognize what's going on and you can actually change that. The Slight Edge has the positive side and the negative side. What's uncomfortable becomes comfortable, or what's comfortable becomes uncomfortable. It's really dichotomic, just like the growth mindset and fixed mindset. The fixed mindset and growth mindset talk about the ability to be a learner and a non-learner. You're either on one side or the other. You're either for people's dreams or against people's dreams. You're inspired by people or threatened by people. It's a dichotomy. Think intelligence can be developed by effort, or you see effort as failure, or you see failure as defining you, or failure as something to succeed through. Growth and fixed mindset, another scary analogy, because every time someone says something, every time somebody says you're special, or you work really hard, or you're perfect, or the songs I listen to, or the books I read, or the people I talk to, it boggles me, because there's no point at which I can't apply the philosophies in these books. That's what scares me. It helps me understand things that appear to be what they are, but there's so much behind it. Alright, then you have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. There's a story of this kid who carries around a teaspoon with 2 drops of oil in it and tries to notice everything in this king's castle. He says the secret to happiness is learning everything around you and noticing it and being present, but never forgetting the 2 drops of oil that are on the spoon. Being able to learn and grow and not neglect what you want and not forget what your dreams are. He says that people realize their dreams early in life when they're really, really young, and as they get older, they kind of neglect and they just forget about those dreams until somehow they come to the point where they go, wow, that's what I really wanted, and then they commit to it. Their awareness fizzles. They forget it. Reality in the world convinces them that they're achieving their dreams isn't possible. You should watch Matthias M's inspirational videos too. I'll link that below in the description. Actually, what I'll do too is I will mention the YouTube videos below of all these books I've talked about. I made a YouTube video about practices in them, so you can watch them all below if you're curious about these books, and check them out, because hey, leadership philosophies, you can apply them in every single situation. All the other books that I read, with like Harry Potter or Divergent or any of these books, Fault in Our Stars, any of these other books, they all have these leadership philosophies within them in the stories. The characters define whether they're round or flat or complex. These leadership philosophies are in there because they're trying to represent human beings and how they see things. Maybe not always true depending on how creative you get. If there are characters, they all have some sort of mindset and they all have some sort of perspective on life, which is why these leadership philosophies are stellar in terms of understanding things. And the last book that I made a really, really long YouTube video on, and one that I want to actually talk about, I want to listen to the whole thing again, it's called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He talks about how our whole battle in life between unconsciousness and consciousness, and the fact that we don't have awareness of the way things are, we don't live in the present moment, we don't do things mindfully, we react to a lot of things. There's no opposite of joy. There's only happiness, how we depend on our external circumstances to derive our happiness and our motivation from it. It's scary. It's scary because you understand why things are the way they are. You don't understand everything, but you can hint at why things are the way they are. It reminds me of what my friend said. Her name is Gabby. She said, being smart is sometimes an unfortunate blessing. Sometimes it is. Understanding things can be scary. And that's what these philosophies help me do. Some sort of inner peace that comes with knowing why people do things the way they do. Oh, the power of now, thinking about how the ego controls us, how we are the masters of our minds, or our minds are the masters of us. And that is true unconsciousness. And that is freaky. You can't fight darkness with darkness. You can only fight darkness with light. And I want to be a warrior of the light. It's like you can't fight lack of awareness with lack of awareness. You just become more unaware of things. And those are the books that intimidate me. So, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in my diaphragm right below. Check out the description for Bree's video and some other YouTubers that have responded to the book intimidation tag. What books intimidate you? Keep creating awesome self. Don't forget to be awesome. And keep paying attention to what intimidates you, because it's often the fear we have to face that makes us a stronger person with a more authentic character. We face our fears to understand why we fear things, instead of turning away and letting fear shut us down instead of waking us up, which is one of the greatest lessons I learned from those 3 Divergent books. Yeah, this is the new end slate. I'm going to try to put the end slate in. I wanted to go with something different for a while. I wanted to try to make different things and enjoy this, and just try different things. Books. Keep reading and learning. You're either a learner or you're a non-learner. I don't divide the world into the stupid and the smart people. I divide the world into learners and non-learners. As I said a while ago, and I haven't said for a long time at the end of my videos, be humble, be grateful, be happy.